Hey everyone, welcome back to the Balanced Business Coach. My name is Tony Robinson and I am a life coach for leaders. I help individuals and teams overcome burnout and overall improve their fulfillment within their lives so that they can make a bigger and better impact on the workplaces that they serve. Today, I am so excited about this episode. I had so much backlash at one of the episodes that I put out a couple of weeks ago. It was about how employers can do better, how they can help improve employee burnout. It addressed what they do to contribute to employee burnout, and it also gave really helpful tips on how you, as a leader, can help your employees to not burn out. I was really interested to see how many people were actually really upset or triggered by the fact that I was saying that the employer or organizations have some responsibility in this whole scenario. So I wanted to first address that, but then I also want to get into, and this was my plan the entire time, addressing the ways that employees cause their own burnout and what they can do to improve their burnout symptoms, to prevent burnout from happening, how to overcome it, things like that. I guess to first just address, and I will link the video down below in case you want to reference the video itself. I didn't think it was that crazy, but a lot of people, especially when I posted certain clips of the video, and maybe it's because it was out of context, but a lot of people felt like employees should just get another job, that they needed to stop complaining and just suck it up and be an adult. And there was a lot of just get another job, stop whining kind of things. So I wanted to just be clear that there are different causes of burnout. There are things that the employee causes, and then there are definitely things that the employer or the organization does that can induce burnout. All of those things are referenced in that video that I posted, but I just want to be very clear that employers absolutely do have a responsibility to employees to make sure that their environment that they work in is safe, that they are respected, that their workload is manageable. Things like the culture of the workplace or the workload itself, the way employees are treated by their managers, all of those things contribute to burnout, and they are out of the employee's individual control. They cannot do anything in their own power to prevent those things or to rid of those things unless they were to leave the job. And I don't think it's fair to say, oh, you're in a toxic workplace, you're being abused by your employer, you can't take the heat, leave. No. How about we do better as employers, as leaders, and make sure that our employees aren't in that kind of an environment? That's the bare minimum. I'm not going to get into all of my thoughts on that, but the basis is if there is something in your control as an employer to keep your employees happy, safe, and to make their job more sustainable, do it. Why would you not? It is in your best interest to retain employees, to make sure that your turnover is not out the wazoo, because the job market right now, as it is, you may have the upper hand, but when those tables turn, you want to make sure that you're on the right side with your employees, because once they have options, I guarantee you they're out of here. It's 50% of employees who are burned out right now are actively pursuing other jobs. So you don't want to be, once those, jobs are opening up and employees have the upper hand, you don't want to be 50% of your workforce just leaves because they have options. That's not going to be good for your business. And not to mention, when you have turnover, you lose productivity, your employee engagement goes down, the culture of the workplace, it suffers. You also have knowledge loss, which is like unquantifiable of like how much that's actually costing you. Then you have the actual cost of onboarding, training a new person to fulfill the role that was left. So just keep all of those things in mind, that you actually do have a responsibility to make sure that your employees are not burning out. There is a way that you can ensure that you're doing your part, and then obviously the employee's part is on them, which is what we're going to be talking about today. So if you notice your employee doing any of these things, then you can maybe be a guide to them. Or if you are an employee and you notice yourself doing these things, you know exactly what you need to do to start making changes. But at the end of the day, there is a responsibility for the employer. There is a responsibility for the employee. And with all of that being said, let's get into it. Okay, so we're going to get into 3 different ways that employees can cause their own burnout. The first one is mindset, the second is habits, and the third is beliefs. So I'm going to be breaking down each of these in detail to explain how each one contributes to employee burnout and how employees can change their mindset, habits, and beliefs to really overcome or prevent burnout from happening in the future. So the first one is your mindset. If you have a victim mentality or a really negative mindset and outlook on life, it's going to be much more likely that you find yourself burned out, especially in the workplace, in life in general, because you feel like everything is against you. You feel like nothing is in your control. I remember when I was at my previous 9 to 5 and I was so burned out. I was like at my wit's end, and I knew that there were certain things that were out of my control, but I also knew I had a choice. I knew that I could go look for something else. I knew that I could find another position. I knew that I could start working on my mentality, my mental health, my physical health, doing things that were going to alleviate the symptoms of my burnout. And I didn't allow the fact that they were a toxic workplace or causing this feeling of burnout to stop me from taking action. And what happens if you get into a victim mentality or a really negative mindset where you feel like you just have to blame everybody else and you don't take any accountability yourself, you forget that you actually do have power. You don't even think to take actions to change your reality, to change your situation. So if you're going to blame a workplace for having a really high workload or having really terrible employees, like, what are you doing to get out of that situation? Are you actively seeking jobs? Are you telling your leaders, like, hey, this is going on, we need to do something about this? Can we make a change in the workplace? Are you taking care of your mental health after work? Are you doing things like exercising, eating healthy foods, meditating, journaling, doing yoga? Are you doing things that will help alleviate your burnout symptoms? Because if not, that negativity and that victim mindset is just going to build on itself more and more and more. And it's like you're digging your own hole, and it's going to be a lot harder to dig your way out. So the first one is to fix your mindset. If you want to start to change your mindset, I would say you can start by reading some like self-improvement, self-help books that are really inspiring and good for mindset work. And then you could also listen to affirmations or do meditations, especially like guided meditations that are there to like promote well-being. Well, all meditations are really meant to promote well-being. Doing meditations that are meant to incite gratitude, that really like fill your positive cup up. You could also journal on gratitude. So just making a list of like 20 things that you're grateful for every single day. It's okay if you repeat the same things day after day, but all of those are going to start to make you feel more positive about your life and start to bring in like a shift in what's available to you, what opportunities are available to you. And actually, I've been reading this book. It's called, this is the collection of Florence Scovel Shinn's books, but her most famous book is The Game of Life and How to Play It. That's how I was introduced to her work. But this collection of all of her books is so good. Most mornings, every morning for the last probably month and a half, I have been opening it up to a random page, and then I will just read that chapter. They're super short, only like a page or two. And I just read that chapter, and it really has helped expand my mindset and think differently about what is possible for me in my life. And I've had a lot of really incredible things come into my life since reading this book and doing the affirmations that she tells you to say and think about in the book. So I highly recommend that as well. I'll link the link to the book on Amazon down below. Okay, so number 2 is habits. How are you scheduling your week? How are you organizing your week? Are you doing any of that at all? Like on Monday mornings, are you looking at everything you have to do for the week? Are you brain dumping all of the items that you need to get done, the projects that you need to do, even including like things in your home? Are you setting aside time to actually do those things? And are you scheduling them on your calendar? Because one of the biggest things that I see people making a mistake about is thinking that they can get all of their to-do items done, but they don't schedule them or like actually think about, oh, this task is going to take me this amount of time. This task is going to take this amount of energy. And so they get themselves into a situation where it's like, I can't get all this done in 1 week. This is way too much. But if you take the time to actually prioritize and look at how much energy each task is going to take, you can start to schedule things strategically on your calendar, and then you'll be able to say, okay, I'm reasonably going to be able to get all this done this week, or maybe some of these things are going to need to get pushed off that are a lower priority. But making sure that you're actually scheduling things on your calendar, huge game changer. Another thing is organization. One of the biggest energy suckers and things that actually drain our positive attitude and outlook on life is disorganization. If your home, if your desk, if your emails are in disarray, you are going to be in disarray as well. The external is typically a reflection of the internal. So if you see stuff all over the place, like that's probably how you're feeling on the inside too. The good news is you have control of getting that stuff in order. You can get organized. That is a skill that you can learn. It may take some discipline. It may take some focus and some consistency on your behalf. But again, back to the mentality, the mindset, like don't be a victim. You can do that. You can do those things. You can overcome the disorganized person that you may be. So getting your home in order, getting your desk in order, getting your emails organized. If you have files all over your computer, number one, you're probably spending so much time looking for things, sifting through whatever, like you're probably missing certain things that you need to be tending to, whether it's a bill or a project or a task from a client. Like if you are so disorganized, it's going to be really difficult to prioritize the things that you need to do and make sure that you are getting them done on a timely basis. Being disorganized just takes way too much brain energy, and then you don't have anything left to give when you have to actually do the thing. So number one, get your schedule together. Number two, get yourself organized. I have another video on managing your to-do list and getting organized, so I will link that down below. Go have at that one, but don't go anywhere yet. Do that after this. Okay, and the third way that employees cause their own burnout is their beliefs. Beliefs about the way they have to please other people, that they have to save everyone, that they have to be so perfect. These beliefs get people in so much trouble, and these are like the primary candidates for burnout. Now, I've got several different videos on people pleasing and the savior complex as well. So if you feel like, oh, I'm not sure if that's me, or I don't know, like I don't really identify with that, but you're burned out, I would highly recommend checking those videos out, because I've had multiple people come to me and say, I never thought I was a people pleaser, but they listened to the people pleaser episode and they were like, oh, okay. I feel seen and called out at the same time. When I discovered that that was something that I struggled with, I was like, oh my God, I never would have thought. So if you are struggling with burnout and you're like, I don't really know if I identify with that, go check the video out just to see if maybe something resonates in there. But these are beliefs that we tell ourselves that our worth is tied to what we can do for other people. It's us sacrificing our own needs for the needs of others. It's needing to be so perfect, so available, that we will sacrifice our entire mental well-being and our health so that we can be praised for the work that we've done. The reason this is a problem in the workplace is because when there is work to be done, you will work yourself to death in order to get a thank you so much. Great job on that project. Great job on completing that task. Hey, thanks for sending this over. Like, you will do anything for that approval. For if your boss asks you for something, it's yes, of course. Like, you could never let that person down. And so what happens after you never say no? You get burned out because you're freaking like running yourself to the ground. Your energy is out the window because you have literally been giving it to everyone else, but you're not pouring anything into yourself. So if you have beliefs that it's hard to say no, it's uncomfortable to say no, you need to be there for other people, like they need you. Like if you say things like, they need me, what would they do without me? If I don't do this, then what will they do? Those are like key things that if you say those in your mind, that you probably struggle with people pleasing, savior complex, perfectionism, combination of the three, that kind of thing. So just be aware of those beliefs, and the way that you can really overcome beliefs like this. Number one is going to be journaling. I would say getting some guided prompts that you can journal on when specific situations come up that you feel like conflicted about saying no to. Like if it's going to take you away from giving back to yourself. Maybe you have a night out with friends scheduled, or maybe you're going to the gym after work, or maybe you are just going to have like a spa day and something comes up and your first inclination is, let me cancel with my friends, let me cancel my spa day. Oh, I don't really need to go to the gym today. Like I'll just hit it tomorrow. Those are the times when you're sacrificing yourself because you won't say no. So if those types of things come up, it's really good to have some journal prompts that you can either write or just reflect on in your mind to think through, why do I feel like this task is more important than me meeting my own needs? What will happen if I say no to this? What am I afraid of if I say no to this? What am I afraid is going to happen? Those are the kinds of questions that you might want to start asking yourself. And then another thing that you can do is emotional freedom technique or tapping. I've got a video on this as well, but it's really, really helpful at reprogramming your subconscious beliefs, because you are identifying how you're feeling. If you are like anxious, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling frustrated, it allows you to address those feelings. And when you tap on different areas of the body, you can actually overcome those beliefs that you're having. You can neutralize them, and then you can reprogram them with new beliefs like, I can say no. It's okay for me to give back to myself. It's okay for me to go out with my friends and say no to my boss when I'm not supposed to be working. Those are the things that EFT will allow you to do, and journaling. So those are the three things: mindset, habits, beliefs. You get those three things in order. And then if you're still burned out, if you've been working on yourself, you've been working on your mindset, you've worked on your beliefs, you've been working on your habits, but you're still experiencing burnout, then it's time to look at like, is the workplace that I am in healthy for me? Is there something going on there that I need to just remove myself from this situation? Another example of this could be like a toxic relationship in your life. If you've ever been with a toxic partner or an abusive partner, you know that you try and try and try everything you can to change them, to like be better and change yourself. But at a certain point, you realize like, there's nothing I can do to fix this. I just have to walk away. I just have to remove myself from this. So it's the same thing with our workplaces. If you have tried everything and you have done your best to improve your own self, but it's still not getting you anywhere, it may be time to leave that workplace to find something different. And I know that that is easier said than done, but I just want to give you kind of the path and the steps that I would take first. Try that out. If it's still not like working out for you, then at least you have started putting boundaries in place. You started advocating for yourself, which hopefully has led you to a place where you're able to have the energy to start applying for other jobs, to start showing up to interviews as a more fulfilled version of you, just enough to be able to get out of that workplace that you are in. Okay, that is all I have for us today. Hopefully this has made all of the people who were totally hating on my episode a couple weeks ago, hopefully this has made you all so very proud. But anyway, if you are struggling with burnout, if you would like some additional support, I have a couple of options down below for you linked. There is a really awesome free burnout prevention workshop that you can get. There is a very low cost item for regulating your nervous system. So when I was talking about the meditations, the affirmations, the journal prompts, the EFT and tapping, working out, I have an entire library of basically what you do is you go in, you select how you're feeling. If you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling frustrated, if you're feeling sad, mad, you select how you're feeling, and then it's going to give you a list of tools like affirmations, journaling, so on and so forth, and you choose your journey, whatever one you want to do, and then it's going to give you specific prompts or a specific meditation for that feeling that you are experiencing. So that one is an amazing, amazing resource. I literally use it almost daily. It's so good. And I've had so many people tell me how much it has helped them on a daily basis with things that they're going through as well. So that's linked down below. And then if you are in like desperate need of one-on-one, I need intervention right now, I also offer one-on-one coaching, which all of the information to book a free session to see if that's something that you want to explore is also down below. All right, that's all I've got for us today. Thank you so much for being here, and until next time, take care.